Chag Kasher v'Samech, everyone. I hope you've had a wonderful Seder and going into Shvi Shel Pesach. Now I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Chag. Wanted to share an idea with you, something that I like to say in the beginning of all of my Seders, but this is relevant for the entire year, so I'll share it and hope we get some inspiration from it. This is a story that Rav Nachman of Breslov wrote in Sipurei Ma'asiyot, in his stories. This is called Ma'aseh Maror, a story of the maror, of the bitter herbs. There are two beggars, a Jewish beggar and a non-Jewish beggar. They're going from village to village, from town to town, trying to gather their next meal. Pesach comes around, and the Jewish beggar tells his non-Jewish friend, he says, listen, Seder's coming around. It's an amazing experience. We're going to have an amazing meal. Let's go to Shul. Put on a kippah, put on tzitzit, pretend to be Jewish, and after services, someone will take you in, and we're going to eat like kings. It's going to be amazing. So they go to Shul, and at the end of davening, just like how we start out the Haggadah with halach this is lechem oni, the bread of affliction. Anyone who needs a place, please come and join us. There's always room at our table. We'll always make room for another person. Anyone who needs everybody gets welcomed in on Pesach. Please, anyone who needs, come and join. So obviously, in the end of Shul, they look around. If there's two people there that don't have a place to go, they're going to be invited in as well. So one family invites the Jewish beggar. One family invites the non-Jewish beggar that they don't realize that isn't Jewish, but they invite him in, and they go, and the beggars agree that they will meet back in Shul after the Sidurim, and that's where they're going to sleep. The Jewish beggar comes back 3 a.m. He is stuffed, sees his friend over there. He says, what did I tell you? Wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that the best meal ever? We weren't just gathering scraps. We sat at a table and had a real meal. What do you think? Wasn't that just out of this world? And he says, what are you talking about? You sadistic bastard. That was horrible. And this guy is fuming. He says, how can you do this? You call yourself a friend. You told me that we're going to eat like kings, and that was horrible. He says, tell me, what was going on? He says, okay. So I get to the meal, and there is a table, and it is set beautifully. So get excited. There's going to be a nice feast. Take out a glass. They give me a glass of wine. I drink it. Oh, what a wonderful way to start the evening. Then we go up to wash our hands. Hygiene, not against it. Let's go. We clean up. We wash up. Then we come back, and I get a little piece of potato, and they dip it in salt water for me. That was a little bit of a weird appetizer, but your customs, not gonna argue. Then they take out a cracker, and they break it, and they hide it somewhere in the house. That was kind of strange. And then they took out these books, and we read for 4 hours straight. That was just mean. I cannot believe we did that. Then we finished reading. Second glass of wine. Okay, starting to work up again. Then the cracker comes back. Not thrilled about the cracker, but okay, it's finally something to eat. I eat it and my mouth goes dry. So then the host says, here you go, have some of this. And he gives me a horseradish. And I eat it, starving. I just grab it and eat it. And my mouth's on fire. And I just get up and I yell, you bastards, this is how you treat a beggar. You starve him for hours, you build up expectation, and then after all of this, you burn his mouth. And I just left there screaming and cursing and let them know exactly what I think. And the Jewish friend tells him, he says, if you poor fool, if you would have waited another 30 seconds, you would have eaten like a king. This is how the story ends, according to Rav Nachman. I always say it in the beginning of a Seder, to tell people to say, you know what? The Seder is going to be long, right? There's going to be a lot of talking, a lot of discussing. We have a lot of mitzvahs that we need to do tonight, right? But in the end, the food is going to be worth it. You should know how hard My wife has been working, the chefs have been working, depends on the scenario, but I always say, it's worthwhile to wait. Food is going to be on par. But this year, I heard a new idea. This comes from Rav Eyal Vered, who asks, he says, why doesn't the Jewish beggar tell his friend that there's maror, that there are bitter herbs? If you're a friend, you're sending a non-Jewish friend to a Seder, tell him. If you are having someone at your table that has never done Seder before, you're going to tell them, this is bitter. This is going to be really sharp. Don't have too much. This is how much you're going to have. Be careful. Don't worry. Right afterwards, we're going to have a meal. Something. The host who sees that this guy clearly has no idea what's going on, fill him in. Tell him. Careful. There's maror. Something. And the idea that Rav Eyal Vered brings when he discusses this is that it is very likely that we do not remember the maror. So I did this as my own experiment. And I have asked all around. I've done this multiple times. I asked people in preparation for the Seder, whether it was kids or adults, teenagers, everybody. I asked and I said, tell me, what are the mitzvot of the Seder? 4 cups, matzah. Sometimes people remember also, you tell the story. If you get lucky, people also remember to say afikoman. And then there's the Hallel that no one's ever remembers that's one of the mitzvahs, but it's there. And no one ever says to eat maror. It's flat out one of the mitzvahs. It's one that we all do and we remember it while we're doing it. This is a mitzvah to eat the maror, to remember that the Egyptians made our lives miserable. But at the moment, whenever I ask people, what are the mitzvot? No one ever remembers the maror. And I think that this boils down to something really important in our life. And that is, there is maror, and we don't remember it. There is rough parts. There are things that are tough in life. We cannot ignore that there are tough times in life. That there's wars, that there's losses. But as a nation, that is not what we choose to focus on. We do not focus on the fact that there's bitterness. We focus on the Seder. Ask someone. Ask people around you. Say, how was your Seder? No one ever says, there was a lot of maror. People say, there was a lot of singing, there was a great Torah, the food was amazing, the company was wonderful, someone put on a play, there was a skit, this was wonderful, this is a Pesach I'm going to remember. No one ever says there was a lot of maror. And the reason for that is really, in the essence of our secret to survival, is we never get to skip the maror. You don't get to say, I had a wonderful year, I'm skipping the maror this year. But with that, we never focus on the maror. I hope we can take that for the rest of the year and for the rest of our lives. Remember, there is maror, but don't focus on it. Chag Sameach.